Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you enjoyed the off season here. For those of you that joined us throughout the rec league, is much appreciated. That was an absolute banger of a split here, but we are in week one for the LoLMidwest fall splits for Sweat League. This is a league for a little more competitive and higher elo players. We range anywhere from plat to masters tier, with our limit being 300 LP masters. So we have two returning teams here in Vancouver Impact Challengers and Insane Banana Posse. Two returning teams. Vancouver was part of the split, the last two splits, I believe, and Insane Banana is a returning team coming back to us. I know a couple of their members played last splits, but this split they are, I believe, 4/5 of the OG lineup that joined us some time ago, with One Handed Gaming being the new member on the block. Up in the top lane, he was our reigning Rec League MVP here. So much love shown to the Rec League and the MVP getting a spot on a Sweat League team. So we'll see how he will end up faring against a very, very tough Vancouver Impact Challenger team here, with a lot of returning members as well. I actually think all of these members are, for the most part, returning. I know Chiros, I know Marshall, I know Stunner. So maybe those are just the returning members here. But we'll see. Glad you guys could join us. I know there's another series that the GOAT himself, Nexus, is casting on the Twitch channel here. So he will, he should be wrapping that up unless it goes to Game 3. But let's take a little bit of focus here on the draft. You got some key bands coming out in the Hui, Pantheon, Wukong. Two very, very game-changing junglers. And Hui being kind of the sleeper mage that's made a resurgence after these recent buffs here. Insane Banana going with Kasante, Shaco, and Fiddlestick. So definitely banning out the jungle pool here as well. So Vancouver ends up getting the Trundle early. Insane Banana goes with the Nautilus, Yanara. Vancouver ends up continuing with the slows and Freljord theme here with the Braum Ash, and Insane Banana going with the Mel. For the most part, I like the Mel here for what little is being shown. Ghost Tiger 40 returning to the mid lane for Insane Banana against Stunner. Two mid lane players that I have the absolute utmost respect to. I've faced Ghost Tiger quite a few times, subbing and in scrims, and he is definitely a very, very talented mid laner. The fact that I can say on some occasions I've held my own is actually a little bit of a pat on the back to me here, because he is very talented. I would consider one of the top 3 to 4 mids in the league right now, and Stunner, a very, very capable mid laner as well. So the Mel, really useful into Braum ult, Ash ult, stuff like that. The Yanara is interesting. There is a lot of champions walking into her, including the Trundle, so I think Yanara kind of got away safely here in this draft. And then with this Milio getting picked out, even more so, it got away with murder here. Yanara, not a big fan of point and click or hard engage. Stuff like Vi and Malphite are very difficult for her to deal with. But you do have to index into it quite a bit here. So, but let's see what Vancouver Impact ends up picking here. The Syndra, nice, decent pick into the Mel. While she can block the damage in the CC from the E, or the orb, so she blocks the damage. I believe the E still will stun her. I'm not 100% sure. I am a Mel merchant, but it's not a matchup I've played that often. Mel, though, does have the early few levels to poke her down and make life hard for Syndra. The Aatrox, though, being hovered here. is a very safe blind pick. Now we're going into this phase. We'll see. I believe this Nautilus is going to go in the jungle. For anybody who's been around here, War Initiate is an avid Nautilus player. He's played it in 4 different roles in the 3 splits that he has participated here in the LoLMidwest League. So definitely isn't afraid of tossing around a few anchors here. So let's see what One-Handed has here, and he goes with the Cho'Gath here. So Cho'Gath on the R5 for our MVP, Rec League MVP, sorry, Cho'Gath up here. So yeah, that is our 2 team comps. Looking at it overall, I think both team comps kind of got to play and structure it the way they wanted to. They really didn't respond too much to the enemy team overall. So you have 2 big beefy tanks in the Cho'Gath and the Nautilus that if you get close to them, they do bring a lot of CC and a lot of lockdown. You've got Milio supporting the backline in the Yanara Mel. Mel having her own kind of pseudo-defensive peeling tools in the W. Albeit it's a very small window, but Mel is something that you don't really want to walk into either. Vancouver Impact, though, has a lot of slows, has a lot of disruptions, has a decent amount of scaling as well, and has, overall, I would give a slight range advantage to. In the sense of the Ashe, and then, you really don't want to walk into the Sindra here. So, yeah, I think it's just going to come down to which team comp has the game state to play the way they want to play here. I know that's kind of fairly general, but overall, I probably would lean towards the same Banana here. Like I said, they have a team comp that really loves getting just ran into, and I think Vancouver Impact does that quite a bit with the Aatrox and the Trundle here. But Assault is still a very, very disruption tool, like a pick tool as well. So we'll see how this one ends up going. So I did hear that the Vancouver Impact team did send us out on Twitter that they're playing here. So do I got any Vancouver Impact fans in the chat here? See what who we got here. Maybe there's just people running dual monitors to watch the Twitch and the YouTube stream here. It's very rarely that we have to go to YouTube, but we had 3 games today. We had 2 on the Twitch. Herwick ended up streaming the earlier matchup between Team and Ninja Turts, which was a very bloody, very entertaining, action-packed matchup. And over on the Twitch, Nexus, after playing in the afternoon series, being the support on Ninja Turts, got to then cast this other game, which featured a new member to our league, free to play. So shout out to those guys. I think they reached out to me right near the tail end of signups and got themselves in as the 14th team. And they were playing Instinct CK, which is the same team that's been Instinct the last 2 splits. They were semifinalists and finalists the last 2 splits. So they're coming back to give one more hurrah for that Midwest trophy here. But yeah, for those joining us, this is a Week 1 Group A matchup. This is a best of 3 Fearless. This is not full Fearless. If the champion is played in any of the games, the champion will be removed from the pool for the rest of the series. Bans do not matter. It's just if the champion was played here. So, yeah. We'll see how this ends up going. Let me actually move over to the draft here. And actually, just to make this a little accurate, I like kind of lining these up so the viewers joining us can see who's on what side. So these are accurate. Again, my name is CLT here, coming to you with this series. So Since I just got home, I am going to step away here during the small delay and grab myself something to drink here, and we will be good to go with game one of this series. Alright, here we are.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Got the scoreboard set up, and we are ready to go here.
30 seconds until
We got Vancouver Impact Challenger here on the blue side, and Insane Banana Posse on the red side here for this Game 1 Group A Week 1 action in the LoLMidwest Sweat League.
minions have spawned.
So yeah, overall, I think I would prefer the Insane Banana, the red team's draft here. Again, they are very set up to not just handle. Or I'm sorry, they're set up to handle team comps that walk at you very, very well. Mel is a champion you don't necessarily want to like Bonsai run into, and same with Yunara here. So I think that's going to bode very well for them. But they do have to make sure that they're on an even playing field here at about the 20-minute mark. when Yanar hits that 2-item spike. So we do see one-handed on something a little bit different than what I remember seeing him in the Rec League. He was an avid, like, Trundle set, you know, real fightery type of player. Being on the Cho'Gath here, I think he's already kind of showcasing that he's been putting in some work on some different champions here. I don't think he played Cho'Gath a single time in the Rec League. So, love it. We do see the Aftershock coming out for Nautilus here, so Trundle's going to love that very well. It's going to play the kind of pseudo Sejuani role, where when Aftershock's procced, Trundle can ult him. Oh, but we see Marco, though, having this freeze already against one-handed here. See if he's going to have a way to get out of it. Is chugging the health pot here to lead himself up. Mid lane's going about what you expect here. You know, Ghost Tiger every time is looking to get the passive procs, and the autos coming out here. Stunner just again keeps just trying to stack up things. War, though, doing a top to bot full clear, and I think they know he's here just because of the red or the blue and Gromp being down. But they probably figure he is on his bot scuttle. But we have a first blood coming out from Marco here in the top lane on this Aatrox. So freeze got started up by Marco, and one-handed trying to break this freeze ends up falling down here. So teleport coming out from one-handed. No issues there. Ghost Tiger, though, deflecting the W damage or negating it, but flash coming out from Nautilus, forcing the flash out of stunner. So flash for flash here in the mid lane.
Reveal what is hidden. Sever weakness.
So spectator camera, for the most part, is enjoying this bot lane here. Ghost, though, getting ganked here. Marshall going to end up making... Oh, and he does not burn flash there. Hook coming out from War as he returns a little bit of damage here. But flash not used by Ghost Tiger here off of that gank. So 2-0 start here for Vancouver Impact. Q trade coming out from Crackler. Marshall, though, is in the area. One-handed, though, feeling the effects of this freeze here. See, he might have to burn the flash. He does not burn the flash here, but he will have to back here. So one-handed, feeling the pressure here of this Aatrox Cho'Gath matchup. So Vancouver Impact, though, starting up this Drake, and this is an Earth Drake, which is a very useful Drake to take away from the Insane Banana team comp. The fact that they have 2 super tanks and one of them running Aftershock means the Earth Drake bonuses would have been very useful there, but them taking it away, really nice overall. Starting that dragon stacking early. So, CS-wise, you just only start to see it here in the top lane. Chiros, though, going to have to flash forward, But the movement speed coming out of Mel here and the barrier. And Chiros does end up getting away. So we do see a little bit of a posture on the top side here. Stunner does get rooted. War with the stun here. Still has the hook available. And misses the hook here. Ghost using the W for the movement speed, but still had the flash over. And Ghost ends up picking one back. One-handed, though, getting all in here by Marcos. But does not fall. So, one-handed kind of baiting this. Marcos, though. Oh, nice combo. Marcos had enough frames there to pop the ult, but that was it. And that was I believe a stack went over to one-handed's Cho'Gath as well. So, nice play from War there, sitting up topside. Kind of using one-handed there as a bait. And overall, now this the scoreboard's kind of starting to even up here. Only about a 400 gold lead, aside for impact so far here. Do you see a plate going over to Chiros and Coca? So, see Ashe has hit the level 6 here. We'll see where the first ult comes out at. Do you see Marshall, though? Excuse me. Picking up the grubs here. Which, as he was picking up the grubs, Marco ends up getting a turret plate up top here. So, kind of extending his lead a little bit. But we see an all-in 3v4. I'm sorry, 3v2 in the bot side. And Chiros gets out. But it looks like Coca is going to end up falling. And Feats of Warfare goes over to Insane Banana here as they pick up one more here. Ghost Tiger on 2 kills. Nice sidestep from one-handed overall. Oh, I just noticed that this Aatrox went Phase Rush. That is quite interesting. Must be a matchup specific thing, or... He just feels like he wants movement speed to try and stick on to the Yanara Mel. Thresh all day, though, getting all in here, stunned up by the Braum plus the Ashe ult here. He had to use the ult as well. One-handed's now at the point where I feel like he can start to survive this lane a lot more. As you know, when Cho'Gath does solo kill minions, he does get some health and mana back. Decide not to complete that recall there. But Marshall, though, up here. Oh, but Marshall will end up getting taken out for that dive here. And that is a nice 1-for-1. Off of that dive here. So one-handed, for as much pressure as he's getting thrown that way, he's 2-2. Yeah, he's down 30 CS, but he is still like on pace with the rest of the map here. And we do have a pause because War Initiate did unfortunately disconnect. It is stated in the rules that if there is any combat going on, you cannot pause. We do try to stress that one quite a bit. So, fingers crossed that he can come right back and not have any issues. Well, still sitting here waiting. For those of you kind of just joining us, War Initiate, his internet just decided to die on him. But I'm being told it is coming back, and he is logging back in, so...
A summoner has reconnected.
It looks like he has returned. When this does get unpaused, there will be a slight pause in the clients. As you know, the client on Riot's side, when you spectate, has a 3-minute delay, and when you unpause, it unpauses in real time. So the client does have to wait to catch back up to that actual 3-minute delay here. So, for those just kind of tuning in, catching up, we do have 3 kills of 4 here. About a 600 gold lead for the side of Vancouver Impact. They did strike first here, with Marco getting a solo kill up top side. But One-Handed has continued to grind back here. He did fall again, but due to a top turret dive, but he played it very well and got one back onto Marshall here. So Ghost Tiger having himself a little bit of a lead off mid lane here. But we start to see the tank items coming out here. Level 6, obviously hit by all of the champions here. We do see Insane Banana, though. Looks like they will be taking the second Drake here. So Drakes are going to be split 1-1. I believe Insane Bananas won the feats of combat. One-Handed finding himself in a big conundrum here. Marshall is coming back as well, as he's taking just an insane amount of damage. And Marshall with the pillar, letting Marco get another kill onto One-Handed. This Aatrox is going to be quite annoying to deal with, but it's not like Shogath isn't losing any tankiness either. He got to his first item, albeit doesn't have the boots set up here, so that's kind of a feels bad. I'm not 100% sure if I'm with the Sunfire Rush. I still think you need a little bit of early anti-healing, especially going the Sundered Sky here to get a boatload of healing. Some early anti-healing wouldn't be terrible for the side of Insane Banana. But we do see Crackler looks like he is going the Kraken Slayer route here for Yanara. But War Initiate, though, going in on Chiros here, pumping out a boatload of damage, basically almost one-shotting him. Oh, Chiros, though, with the late barrier, tanks a lot of Ghost's damage, but Stunner comes back here with the flash stun and picks up one back onto Ghost Tiger. Nope, Mel's W does not block turret shots, by the way. It only blocks champion damage. So, Ghost did tank quite a few turret shots there. And after the ult animation for Stunner came out right as the Mel W wore off here, so he took a boatload of damage there. So we do see about 50 stacks coming out for Stunner. One-handed. Only has the one stack here, so definitely is going to need to use this Cho'Gath ult to start to get much tankier overall. This is going to be a hard fight here for Insane Banana, but Ghost does come up if they play this slow enough. Marco's a lot of healing there. Stunner is in the background as well. And Marco picks up the kill on the one-handed here. Ghost, though, trying to kite back Marcos, and there's a double kill for this Aatrox. And there's a triple kill coming out of Marco here. So this Aatrox is absolutely unleashed here onto this Insane Banana team here. And that's going to be first turret. And now it's just a battle for these objectives here, as it is 2-1 on the objectives. With Marshall getting this Rift Herald, feats of strength will go over to the side of Insane Banana. Chiro's trying to space out Crackler here, as he was taking quite a bit of minion damage. He does have the boots and Kraken Slayer completed. Already a decent amount of damage coming out of Stunner here. 2 one-handed. Note, he does not have any MR built. He's actually on what I kind of want to call the Walmart or Temu special, where he's trying to complete items without boots here. So without boots, if you get hit by Aatrox W, it is a rough go. You just have to sidestep it. But he does have Bramble Vest, so at least a form of anti-healing is out there. Rift Herald used mid, but does not break it open, which is unfortunate. So TP coming out for everybody. We're going to have a full 5v5 here. As War pulls the trigger going through here, and he's tanking up a lot here, but overall falls. One-handed also trying to tank up. Crackler, though, trying to kite back, and just overall not able to do that much damage. Though they do run straight into Ghost Tiger's Mel as this comes out. Now Ghost Tiger and Crackler are trying their best here. Jungler has not fallen for Vancouver Impact, but it looks like they have stopped this dragon attempt right now. But they should get mid tower here. Backs are coming out from both teams, and there's a chance we kind of see this dance again. Crackler's ult's halfway on cooldown, same with Ghost Tiger, same with War. Actually, everybody on the side of Insane Bananas, their ults are about halfway up on cooldown here, so they're going to have that going into it. It looks like the only thing that might have a very small weight on is going to be Braum ult, potentially, here, if they do posture for this dragon again. Note, Mel did go topside. Oh, but War, though, I don't think knew that everybody was there. Marshall still does not have ult. Mel TPing back. They actually can fight this. Stunner does have ult up, but no Ashe, no Braum ult. Hook comes out by War Initiate. His ult's almost up. One-handed trying to zone out Marco here. W down for Ghost Tiger, which is a very, very big cooldown here. One-handed trying to give Marco the bounce house here. Stunner does not have TP. This is a 4v5. War's hook coming back up here soon. War has ult, Crackler. Everybody for Insane Banana does have ult here. It's going to end up being a smite fight coming out here. Blue team does get the dragon, but the ascending fight seems to be in favor of Insane Banana. You have a lot of damage coming out of Mel and Crackler's Yunara here. But he does walk into this area, and it looks like they're just going to walk away here being a 1-for-1 trade. Oh, but Thresh all day, though. See, does he have the kickball? Marcos, though, looking to take this fight. There is no anti-healing on the bot lane of Insane Banana, but Crackler trying to do his best to space around here. Marshall, though, is in the area as well. Yunara, though, taking probably the worst path he could out of that W. And Marco does end up taking out Yunara here. Thresh all day having to flash away, but Ghost Tiger with the E will snare him up. We see the shutdown going over to one-handed, so flash and ult used for one-handed here, which is a pretty big shutdown to go over to the one guy who is super behind for Insane Banana. Ward just kind of getting annoyed here by Coco, but Chiros is coming over here. Ghost Tiger also coming as well, and he ends up flashing because the Braum E'd the other way, and that's a big R coming out. Ghost Tiger picks up 1, and that's the 5th kill going over to this Mel. So the bot lane trying to do what they can into a very, very armored up Nautilus with Aftershock. And War was able to save enough time for Ghost Tiger to come over and clean that up. The Braum E going towards War Initiate meant Ghost Tiger could throw the EQ in there, and both of them took the brunt of that. I will say this is the duo that could stop it over. Cho'Gath is coming. He will have Feast up. Kickball comes away from Marcos, but War Initiate might fall. No! Otacon goes over to Marshall, and now it's a fight overall between Crackler and the rest of the group here, as he's trying to kite away, but oh my lord, the healing coming out from Marco there. And a quadra kill coming out from Marshall's Trundle here. What an insane fight. War Initiate was in that Otacon pit, just doing his best to try and tank up. But it looks like the smite battle ended up going over to Marshall. And then that's all he needed. Once he ulted over, Marshall is an extremely tanky Trundle. Anti-healing coming out from Ghost Tiger here. So we have some active hand anti-healing coming out now, which I think is going to be pretty good. Marshall trying to pillar up War's Q, but it ended up falling short anyway. So Cocoa, though, getting caught out, it looks like, though Chiros is in this bot lane as well. See if they let one-handed chomp this over. No, Crackler gets the kill. That's the next best duty there. So we're only on 2 stacks. He hasn't even chomped a minion. This Cho'Gath is just going... I mean, he's going to get so tanky once he starts chomping minions, but he needs to do that like really, really soon here. His ult is on a 63-second cooldown, so he could have chomped this wave up here and had his ult ready by the time Dragon came up. So unfortunately missing out on what is that? That's like 120 max health. That's a fairly respectable amount of health here in these fights. So we do see Insane Banana setting up for this dragon. Chiro's trying to get the last hit on this ward, and looks like he will. So one-handed in, War Initiate coming in. The ult coming out here, one-handed soaking up quite a bit. Pillar is in the best position that it could have been. Ghost, though, getting blast coned out, but Crackler trying to do his best to clean up. And oh my lord, that's a massive Syndra to be walking into. And the impending fight goes over to Vancouver Impact. And oh my lord, that was a big chomp from Marshall there. That pillar from Marshall might have been the best pillar I've ever seen, by the way. Like, holy cow, nobody could walk through it. They were all minion blocking themselves. Because War was such a big champion model on this Nautilus. So, now that we have a small little avenue here, it is 49 to 38k in gold, so about a 12,000 gold lead for the side of Vancouver Impact. They are up 3 dragons to 1 here. Ghost Tiger getting jumped on here by Marcos. See if he can try and run away, and he can't. His flash was not back up yet. And now they're devoting Crackler to defend this Aatrox push. And you have War Thresh and one-handed looking at this Baron here. Oh, Q1 lands on the Crackler. He ends up having to flash away. And they're going to have to give this Baron over as Marco with this push. It's just forcing them to make a decision here. Two items coming out for Yanara, which is a very, very big spike for her. I still would love to see one-handed. Like, he's still sitting on 2 stacks here. I just need to see him chomping some of these Baroned up minions to not only help with the wave clear, but, you know, try to just get himself as tanky as he can be. You got Crackler and Ghost on, like, decent items so far. I know in retrospect, they're behind their opponents, but War getting hit by the Ash ult here and taken out by Syndra. Thresh All Day getting W'd here. He's gotten the flash away. One-handed having the flash away from Marshall, who ulted him. So he was extremely tanky. Crackler, though, eating forward just to try and put out some damage and ends up eating the Syndra ult here. And a double kill coming out from Syndra. And a triple kill coming out from Syndra here. And that's going to be the ball game here for Vancouver Impact Challengers, as they will take game 1. It was a very competitive early game. It's just overall, with Marcos and Marshall getting those 2 quadra kills, I think really accelerated them in this game heavily. So Vancouver Impact will take game 1 here. God, I gotta shrink this even more. Why you guys have such long names? So we will go over to the details here. And Aatrox, yeah, topping the damage graph here. You know, Ghost on his respective side also topping it. So I really like what I've seen out of both teams. But Vancouver Impact definitely felt like they were the most, they were allowed to be the most proactive in that game, considering what they drafted and the leads they got early. So, looking at this draft, though, I think, like I said, I think Insane Banana did quite well overall in this early to mid game. But I think just some of these fights, the couple disadvantages they found in laning phase, the snowballiness from Vancouver Impact's comp came out. I would have loved to see maybe a slightly more varied itemization coming out of the tanks. and also like a little better utilization. So, but yeah, really, really well played from both squads here. So, all right, I believe we are in the draft here. Yep. And so looks like we still are keeping the same sides. Insane Banana deciding to go back onto the red side here. So let's see what happens. I get rid of Ghost Tiger Sway, and War Initiate plays a mean Urgot. I'm not 100% sure if Urgot, excuse me, is viable in the jungle, but if there's anybody who's tried it, it's definitely War Initiate. So Cassante, Shaco, Tristana taken out by Vancouver Impact as well. So again, decent amount of jungle bands in the Shaco Fiddlesticks coming out. Pantheon is left open by Vancouver Impact, so we're going to see what Insane Banana wants to build here. I thought the comp they built was really, really nice. It was just trying to just hold on for their comp to pick up their spikes. But we do see Thresh all day going back to his patented Seraphine. I've seen this guy play Seraphine a lot, and he has a lot of potential on this pick, especially with the ults. Just a lot of game-changing ults I've seen him do. Him and Crackler definitely know how to play with this champion in the bot lane. And the Jarvan coming out here for War, so are still wanting to kind of formulate a little bit of a press R comp here. We'll see what Vancouver Impact picks in response to this. So we do see the Corki coming out here. Still a pretty prominent mid pick, but can go bot as well. I think we've already seen it bot once this week so far. Overall, I like the pick. You can get away from Jarvan and kind of kite out of some of the Seraphine poke early as well. Goes very well with the Rel. We see the Xayah potentially coming out here. Let's see what they pick. That is a Xayah lock in here, so we kind of already see what the bot lane duo is going to look like. So we see the Scion getting taken away. The Rumble also following up on the bans. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. Luckily, I muted in time. Viego coming out as a ban, so kind of getting rid of some of these tankier in-your-face champs or fighters that can exploit what they've shown early. Orianna getting banned as well, so wanting to get rid of the J4 Seraphine Orianna kind of wombo they were building. And Wukong coming out here, so this is a interesting little wrinkle here. Now we get to see where either the Wukong or the Jarvan go to. Oh, and the Mordekaiser comes out. So if this is a Wukong top, this Mordekaiser is going to run over this monkey. He gets a lot of armor from his passive and training and health regen, but Mordekaiser being more of a magic damage champion, sorry, pure magic damage, that Wukong is going to have a hard time with it if it is Wukong top. This also means Corki can go mid, but it looks like this Corki is going to go bot lane here, as the Talia is going to be hovered and locked in for Vancouver Impact here. So bot lane Corki Rel versus Xayah Seraphine. We'll see what the answer is. I think at this point I would flex the Jarvan top here. I know it's obviously going to get stat checked heavily by this Mordekaiser, but it's going to be a much better matchup to deal with than the Wukong here. And then a Kassadin? This is an interesting pick. It's something I haven't seen in a long time. So this is quite interesting. So I'm very interested in the Kassadin. Yeah, sorry. I was kind of reaching out on the thoughts for this specifically this top lane matchup here. Uh,
Art can shed light on our fears.
Only friends flee.
all right. Well, I'm hearing from our from one of the top lane experts. Wu isn't as bad as I thought it was into the Mordekaiser, but definitely Mordekaiser tends to scale in that matchup quite a bit. I'm more interested in this Kassadin. I think it's a very interesting pick. Ghost Tiger being a former Talia one trick, he knows exactly how to attack this champion. And the fact that the Corki does a decent amount of magic damage, Mordekaiser obviously does a lot of magic damage, and so does Talia. And there really isn't the greatest amount of like hard CC outside of Pantheon Rel. This Kassadin, if he can survive, can scale and become kind of a monster in this game. So I'm very curious. Kassadin, being a mid laner, is not a champion that I find myself playing that often, and when I do, I'm absolutely god awful at this champion. So, yeah, I'm very, very curious to see how Ghost Tiger pilots this. So, this is quite an interesting pick here. I don't think Kassadin was picked at all last year, let alone this year. So, yeah.
You reek of fear.
All right, I'm going.
My heart was already broken.
So, fortunately, I can't even see the names on the right side, so I don't know who grabbed the Wukong and who's grabbing the J4 here. Maybe reach out to one of the players so I can at least have something to talk about here. Alright, so I'm being told it is a Wukong top here. So, this is going to be quite interesting. So. Alright, so Wukong versus Mordekaiser, Pantheon versus the Jarvan, Kassadin versus Talia, and then Corki Rel versus Xayah Seraphine. So again, I feel like Vancouver Impact finds themselves in this world where they have to play the laning phase well, get a really solid lead and snowball off that lead going into the mid game, and keep this game overall accelerated. There is really not much frontline posturing up for Insane Banana, but with the Seraphine being on the map and Xayah having a touch of zone control once they run into her with the feathers, I think it's going to be the team fights are going to be also quite interesting. The only thing I'm concerned about is obviously this Mordekaiser does very well if he ults anybody, honestly, outside of Kassadin in team fights, because those are four very prominent ults. So I'm quite interested to see how that goes. So I think the best thing that can happen for Insane Banana is if Mordekaiser walks up, starts his ult animation, and then Xayah dodges it with her ult. But we will see how this ends up working out. It's honestly like the only other thing that is of big concern for Insane Banana is their lack of wave clear. If Vancouver gets ahead, they don't really have anything pushing them back or stopping them from growing a lead in the sense of stabilization from like a wave clear, because there's not anything like a Ziggs, Lux, Anivia, Ace Soul, X wave clear bot to try and slow the game down a little bit. Talia does have decent wave clear, but her wave clear is more of champions coming into her. She doesn't really like the wave clear going forward per se. Like if she has a really big lead and there's somebody else with her, say a Pantheon, then the wave clear is not as risky. But if she ever finds herself in a side lane trying to push ahead and the Kassadin's already established there, Kassadin does have the ability to run her down. Oh, I was removed from the party. Yeah. Okay. That was weird. Alright. Okay. Well, that's a new one. I've had the client repair. I've had something went wrong. Anything on Discord? Alright, give me a sec. I have to do some mod stuff. Alright, so, quick little update. One-handed, he somehow the client switched him over to Smite, and they loaded in with two Smites, War having one, and One-Handed having the other one, because Wukong is primarily a jungle champ. So, they had to remake the, well, honestly, the whole lobby. So, yeah, that is weird. I did not even know, I did not know the client would even let you have two Smites anymore. So, um, yeah, that's a weird one. So, yeah, that's where we were at. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are at. Just getting. Okay. Well, evidently now my spectator has has broken because they are in the champion select, but I am not. So instead of the players getting small indie companied, I just did. So we will wait for them to start loading into the game, and then I can spectate from there that way. Because fortunately for me, unfortunate for them, I have quite a few of them on my friends list. So that's where we're at. Let's just go ahead and just kind of revisit this real quick so you guys know. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I got the Riot special. Oh, Pixelated Pizza. What is up, bro? It's been what? Almost a split and a half since I have casted that name? Actually, weren't you on the original Vancouver Impact if I'm not mistaken? That's what's up. That is what's up. You might cast it again? Uh-oh. Potential sub angle? Maybe? Question mark? That would be sick. Well, we are into the spectator delay here, so I think we are good to just nothing to see here. Move it along. We're moving. You know, that kind of thing going on here. Okay, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Get to see the pizza pop off. if I'm not mistaken, was a rel specialist or an engaged champ specialist, but could play a little bit of everything because all of you supports are fucking goated. Not that enchanters are that hard to play, but you know, it is what it is. Coaching right now, but I'm the sixth man. That's what's up. I dig it. I dig it. So. I'm on whatever they throw at me. I'm no specialist. I remember you and what was the other support? I believe Strawberry Milk. I believe Strawberry something. You two were like the goats of Rel when she was at like her peak usage a couple splits ago, because you guys had some fucking insane engages on that champion. It's the downside of casting what feels like every single game the server had in the last 2 years is I do remember tidbits of a lot of different players, so but yeah, we're now 30 seconds into this, or left I should say, on this here. Hopefully everything looks good. And hopefully we load in just fine. Revolving door of players. Yeah, there's I would say about half to about 60% of the league is players I've casted before, so I have some context on them, and then the other half, I'm just like super excited to see what they do. So I really don't do much research at all when it comes to these players. Like I said, most of them that I know, you know, most of the Insane Banana guys for sure, that not only have I played with, but you know, I've played some flex with. War was on my team last split. I've played some flex with some of the Rec League guys, including one-handed. So I have a pretty good context when it comes to them. I also think out of the 14 teams, I'm part of like 10 of their servers. So, yeah. I flex with the small brain guys. I flex with these guys, the Insane Banana guys. Yeah. Yeah, if you're referring to last split, yeah, he was on the team with different people, and it wasn't pretty. So, I don't think any of us had a great split. And we took one win, which was due because another team forfeited, so. Oh, one-handed. Starting this lane off ugly. Oh! Okay. Oh, it's Stunner on the Pantheon. Marshall on the Talia jungle here. And then when Vancouver made the switch up in lane, Insane Banana went, okay, we're going to make the switch up in lane as well. So one-handed went mid, and Ghost Tiger went top onto the Cassidon. So a lot of gamesmanship shit coming out here, and I love it. Yeah, I caught on to that, Pizza. That was clever here. Stunner though has the ignite, which is pretty hard to deal with. But one-handed definitely looks like he is already a lot more comfortable here. Cassidon, though, one of the big weaknesses of Cassidon, push him in, and it's very, very difficult to see us with him. Do you see Ghost Tiger did bring the D shield here? I would assume it's D shield second win. Oh, stun coming through on the one-handed, but he ended up cloning away most of the damage. And Conqueror coming out here as stunner though ends up taking a pretty nasty trade. Oh, and a first blood coming out for one-handed. So the Rec League MVP from the summer split put his foot down like you're not gonna I ain't gonna go down fighting, or I'm not gonna go down like a weakling here. He gets the 1v1 on the stunner. No flash or ignite burned on stunner here. We do see Marco and Ghost Tiger though having to burn flashes for a potential all-in. Coco with a nice dodge there off the double E. War Initiate though is topside here. Let's see. And it looks like this gank is getting baited out here. E coming out. Ghost Tiger trying to do his best. And he will pick up that kill. So very well played by Insane Bananas here in his first 3.5 minutes. Stun coming out from Stunner. Kind of stopping a little bit of that momentum and trade coming out of one-handed here. Double long sword pot against just single long sword here off of that first blood. He is down a little bit on the CS department, but that's fine. 1 kill going up to Ghost Tiger. Any kills help Kassadin. Like is a champion that needs like multiple kills to go his way to really feel the impact of it, but he ends up getting himself a Sapphire Crystal and a Tear of the Goddess here. So, nice dodge here from One-Handed. One-Handed's done some monkeying around since his time in the Rec League here. Level 5 coming out from both solo laners here. One-Handed, though, getting poked out pretty heavily. Popping the pot. Marshall is in the wings here, but got pinged out, so I believe there is a war there. Ghost Tiger still getting bullied here from Marcos quite heavily, and will end up getting taken out there. So no summoners on this Kassadin. He gets 1v1'd by Marco. Oh, nice all-in coming out of one-handed. Marshall missing the pushback there, and the double ult proc coming out one-handed. There's 2 kills for the side of the monkey here. Oh! And Threshold Day Crackler duo get a 2v2 kill in the bot lane on the Cocoa, so things not going well for Vancouver Impact in this game too. And then an early Dragon also going over to Insane Banana as well. And this is a Chemtech Dragon, which this Dragon is sneaky pretty good here. I know it's minimal, but you're increasing Kassadin shields. You're increasing the healing coming out of One-Handed's Wukong here. Threshold Day obviously has a lot of shields and heals. And Stunner will trade the Ignite and the Shutdown over to One-Handed as he picks up a 3rd kill. War Initiate, though, luckily gets away before the Talia rocks come down. And the level 6 coming out of Marco here. And the Kassadin will fall. So an early level 6 from Marco off of the solo kill up top. And he will take down Ghost Tiger's Kassadin. Oh! And a nice little 1v1 coming out of Crackler there. As Chiros tanked, I believe it was 2 turret shots there. And the pullback, while it didn't snare, did enough damage. And this Kassadin's already down 20 CS. This is not going great. I don't think you can lane swap this either. So I will say the shutdown and the CS advantage mid means that Stunner is on the same item breakpoint as one-handed here, though I think one-handed is slightly up in the experience. Stunner doing a very nice job with the E going after that. And one-handed getting a nice Q in before having to flash away. Threshold Day taking a big chunk here in a trade with Chiros and Cocoa. Also taking it. Exhaust coming out from Cocoa. Chiros flashing away. So the bot lane of Insane Banana putting up a big fight here. Oh, nice dodges overall from Ghost here. The turret will end up taking out Marcos here, as that is a 1-for-1. Ult coming out from both bot laners here. Chiros burning the barrier. It ends up coming out unscathed here, but most likely going to be a plate taken here from the side of Insane Banana. So really nice start. A lot of the scaling options from Insane Banana has got some kills and some gold underneath them. So, Pixelated, you like what you're seeing so far here in this game, my friend? I mean, even though the kills and dragons are in their favor, I mean, Vancouver's holding on strong. Only down 300 gold here. Mordekaiser having the first completed item is massive. Okay. It looks like we do see a trade back here. So one-handed going top lane. Still has to respect Stunner, though. Immediately trading over, but Lord, Ghost Tiger returns with some damage. One-handed. Dodging the E from Marco. Clone getting used up top. Marco does not have ult. I don't gonna be words. Nice pull back here. Cocoa, though, taking a turret shot, but ultimately does not fall. Stunner, though, has the ignite, but no flash up. Oh, and Ghost Tiger did not space it enough, and he will fall to the ignite as War does pick up another one. So Stunner getting a second kill onto him. He now has the fully completed Eclipse, which is very worrisome if Ghost Tiger continues to go back to this mid lane. I honestly feel like they need to swap it out. You're seeing a big CS diff grow between the solo lanes, and actually all across the board now that I look at bot lane. But kind of some unnecessary deaths coming out of Vancouver here. And Marco's doing exactly what he did to one-handed earlier in game 1, where he just froze on him and just dared him to come collect the CS. So, Insane Banana is going to have to continue to hold on. All in coming out of one-handed. Shield coming out from Marco, though. Rocks coming out. Ghost Tiger dodging it. Rift walking away. He does not have flash up. See, he can take the blast cone away. War is here. Cocoa, though, is going to end up eating the ult, and it extends onto Marshall. And that's a double kill coming out for the Kassadin. Stunner, though, picks up the kill. And now it's a 3v1 for Stunner. Chiros, though, here in the wings as well. Crackler, though, ulting away. And Thresh, though, wanting to continue the brawl. Pullback does not hit anybody else. War, though, kind of trying to space around. It's going to come down to, can they all in Chiros without tanking damage? And overall, that is exactly what you wanted to see happen, was Ghost Tiger getting these 2 kills. He has a fully completed Seraphs now. I don't think he's going to go Roa next here. So he's definitely, I think, going a little more like bursty or damage route He might skip Roa for the Malignance. One-handed getting the ult coming out from Stunner, and one-handed also getting the ult away from Marshall here. So 3 ults used on one-handed here. We win late unless they throw. I'm not 100% sure if you guys win late. It's close. Like, it still is a Kassadin at the end of the day. But Dragon stacking, though, from the Kassadin team comp is going to feel pretty good. It looks like War is trying to start up. Stunner is mid lane. Ignite will be up for this Dragon fight, but no R. Marshall does not have ult up either. Getting stunned up by Kakoa. War, though, dashing through all of Marshall's rocks. And Kakoa will be taken out here. One-handed, though, in the wings. Here's a big engage coming out of the monkey here. Oh, and nice ult from Threshold Day here to pick up all 3. And that is a 4 for nothing. An Infernal Drake going over to Insane Banana. Oh, there's going to be some more words coming out of the Pizza Man for that one. One-handed. Welcome to the Sweat League. Insane Engage. Threshold Day. Welcome back as well. He has the beautiful angle on the Seraphine ult to hit 3 there. And everybody on Insane Bananas at 1 items here. One-handed. Looks like he's going to pick up this first turret, which is feats of strength. Over to the side of Insane Banana here, so already a much different look. They are only up 3k here. Not my rel. Okay, you got me there. Okay, this is more like your rel, where Crackler will end up getting taken out. Redemption, though, coming out here. TP, though, coming out of one-handed. Crackler is staying alive quite a bit. Oh, my lord, the Threshold Day comes in. Oh, shield break from Kakoa doesn't work. Oh, Crackler survives. Oh, my. What an insane sequence coming out of Insane Banana there. War Initiate, though, getting the red buff and getting away from Stunner. Oh, man, this is starting to snowball a little out of control in favor of Insane Banana here. And I take it back, that was not your rail either. Tower going down. One-handed, up about 300 gold on the side of Stunners, despite being down about 20 CS. 30, actually. So, we talked about how we wanted to see a fast-paced game out of Vancouver, but it looks like Insane Banana is the one making this fast. Stunner is going to end up getting taken out from one-handed. War, though, trying to gank topside. Marco's getting the ankles broken here, it looks like, from this Kassadin, but still ends up getting taken out. Kassadin's up here. I'm sorry. Marshall now up here. War, though, going across the rocks, and Shutdown going over to Marshall. So big influx of gold going over to the side of Vancouver here, as it's still a little less than 3k now. Bot lane was hitting mid lane tier 2 here. So nice response overall. Root coming out, back-to-back roots coming out on Kakoa. And so I think everything honestly needs to start leaning on this Mordekaiser here. I think he's the only one that has enough to withstand, especially Kassadin in the side lane. Oh, see, it looks like we're going with a Malignant second on Kassadin. Second item already completed for one-handed, going with the Black Cleaver. I can't necessarily say I agree with the Black Cleaver because there's not much armor you're shredding here. Looks like this is... what is this coming out of the Mordekaiser? Oh, is this experimental hex plate, I think. The Stunner getting caught out here on the side lane. And another kill going over to Ghost. Clone does not absorb the Death Realm here, but one-handed kind of beating the hell out of Marcos here. Rift Herald does get used mid. Mid turret will fall. Snare coming out. Marshall does end up getting charmed up. We're waiting for the rocks here, and he says, screw that. I'm just going to flash there. One-handed, though. Looks like he will get shut down from Marco. So, again, this Mordekaiser is the shining light here for Vancouver Impact. And I believe that is the build path for Experimental Hexplate. Yep, there it is. Coming out of this Mordekaiser. I'm glad they added AD ratios to that champion. But the thing to note is not much tank stats getting built by this Vancouver team. So it's going to be much more difficult if this Rel's not around to tank engages. You do have Pantheon E, and Mordekaiser still has some beefiness to him, but he's not going to be able to take, you know, the brunt of, say, 3 or 4 members of Insane Bananas damage here. And he's also going to have to answer this Kassadin in a side lane. Kassadin is level 11, but he is behind on items. Still has yet to complete the Malignance here. Wukong ult getting used up top. Marshall, though, getting all in from the bot lane. And Crackler and Thresh end up finding themselves a pick onto the jungler of all people. It's true, they do have access to quite a bit of globals here. But Insane Bananas is definitely being much more proactive. And I mean, they are on Soul Point now. Marco tanking up some of this damage from one-handed here. This Q smacks so hard. And we talked about the globals here. One-handed doing some monkey business there with the S key into a flash. Does force the flash out of Chiros. So, flash for flash there. He got out way more than what he should have. So, very, very tricky coming out of one-handed for this monkey. So, Vancouver, though, has grinded this back into less than a 2k gold diff. We're looking at about 1,500 here. But again, I think the scaling for right now, you're going to feel a lot more of the scaling coming out of Insane Banana. But this Kassadin is behind. I think they still need to just keep attacking this Kassadin here. So, Ghost Tiger up topside here is a level behind of Marco. Marco keeps hitting these Qs. Ult comes out here from this Mordekaiser. I think we have a spectator. Okay, never mind. Flash coming out. One-handed, though, going all in onto Chiros. Ends up stopping the dive. But that's 2 members now falling. And now they're looking at Otacon here. This is kind of the break that Vancouver needed here. This Kassadin just has not found any relief at all to get off the ground. And we start to see the CS difference become the main factor of why this gold lead isn't any further apart. Flag comes out to grant vision here. We do see a little bit of poke coming out of Insane Banana, but not much negligible. Marshall putting up the wall here. Let's see if War can be the hero. Oh, and blue team will end up getting it through the Corki. Ghost Tiger gets a double kill but falls. But the rest of the bot lane kind of trying to fill this stat line up. That's 3 for 3 here with Marshall being low, but Stunner using a lot more one-handed going across the rocks here was unfortunate. And tried to use the ult to stop Stunner, and that will be a 3 for 5 ace going over to Vancouver along with the Otacon here. So now we start to see the level advantage kind of creep now towards Vancouver, that they got the Otacon. And that's a pretty early Otacon, so they only got, yeah, roughly around 45 hours there. So, yeah. I think the Otacon going over to Insane Banana, just because they are behind in levels, would have been way, way better for them. As you know, flowers give you enhanced experience if you're behind due to the catch-up mechanic. So, Malignance is completed for this Kassadin, but I don't know when this Kassadin ever starts to combat this Mordekaiser in the side lane here. Over there, Pixel. They didn't throw yet. No, they've been grinding. They've been grinding hard here. And them grinding keeps them in this game. Feats of Strength boots starting to come out here for most of the members of Insane Banana. Looks like they're trying to help cover Ghost Tiger here so he can get a little more experience. Oh, but big catch coming out of Thresh all day. And the rocks do not help. Kakoa getting ulted on. Stunner comes in here. Rel ult comes out, but one-handed, though, with the counter engage. Marcos, though, has him in the death realm here. One-handed trying to stay alive. Does not, but the rest of it goes over. And that is, I believe, 3 kills again over to the side of Kassadin. Marshall getting picked off, and that kind of started the go button for Vancouver. But again, this is a very responsive, very resilient team for Insane Banana. And this is now Soul Dragon for them, which Air Drake is insane for them, Cloud Soul. So, Seeker's Arm Guard coming out for the Kassadin. He's at this point now where he can start to really, pop off the back line. Especially Marshall and Churros. The Seekers does help him be able to combat the Mordekaiser a lot more. Same level as Stunner, though. Being the first one, and now Ghost just running all over this Pantheon here. Ult coming out. Oh, Marcos, very well done on the Q there. See if War and One-Handed can take him out. They do quite a bit of damage here. One-Handed does take it up, but with War showing bot, here's a ballsy call out of Vancouver to go after this Baron. Ult coming out from Thresh all day. Nice engage coming out of Kakoa. And the bot lane, though, coming away with one. War is in the area. One-handed TPing to this Baron. And they stop Vancouver from finishing up this Baron. They didn't get too far into it. But one-handed coming out with the Hex Drinker, which is going to be very useful. I do think he needs to upgrade these boots. The defensive boots are insane value with the shield when it comes to feats of strength. Marshall only on 2 items. Looks like he's going after the Shadow Flame. Can't say I really 100% agree with that. I think something like a Rylai's would have been a lot better. Kakoa getting jumped on here, but turns back and stuns up War to run away.
Throw another rock.
So we see these teams posturing up. Stunner is bot lane with Ignite, soaking up a wave. He does have ult to kind of walk up and join the fight. Wave pushed in by Crackler. This Zaya now on IE, so he is going to hit extremely hard. Stunner, though, oh my lord! Stunner absolutely getting taken out from Ghost Tiger here. Now is where you're super worried. Stunner on the armor boots as well, so he has really no defensive stats on of this. Ghost Tiger, though, backing, got the fully completed Zardias off that kill. And Kassadin is one of the best users of Cloud Soul outside of the Wukong as well. One-handed, though, pulling the trigger, and Ghost Tiger just completely diving the backline here. Marco's ult getting Zhonya's there by Ghost Tiger as he's now in the death realm here. And he did his best to stall out, and Marcos is going to end up falling. And this could potentially be an end angle, or at least inhib into Baron here. Note, Elder Drake is up in 90 seconds as well. What we thought was an interesting engage coming out of one-handed gave the opening for Ghost Tiger to just dive into the backline and basically one-shot Shiros. So, see a lot of pings going after Baron. Weaver's Wall and the Skydrop Grand Starfall is available for Vancouver. And now with everybody there, they're kind of starting it up. One-handed and Crackler, though, just starting it up. But now I think they're trying to death bush here. Note, if they wait too long, tempo's going to be lost. And now you're going to start to see setup for Vancouver Impact come out. So they didn't take the bait here. You're going to have to start seeing backs. Or maybe they're just going to give over the Elder or force them. Yeah, they're going to force them to back onto top lane here. Ghost Tiger's the only... Well, he canceled the back here. So now we're going to start seeing Vancouver Impact having the back here. What is an insane macro call here for Insane Banana. They pick up another, almost a free turret here. Oh, and Stunner just ends up diving in. And he got him pretty low, but ultimately didn't net a kill. Marcos going to half health, and that's another inhib going down here. Ghost Tiger now is at this point where as Kassadin, he can do whatever the hell he wants. War, though, getting taken out and shut down by Marcos. And Marcos ends up winning a very close 1v1 against Ghost Tiger. But now that there's two inhibs down and two super minions there, do we look at potentially this Elder? It looks like we're getting set up coming out of both teams. That is not a super minion here in the top lane. No, it's just a cannon wave, so this is going to be pressured quite a bit for Vancouver here. Marco's ult's not up. One-handed off to the side here, looking at opportunities. Cloud Soul is in effect. Big ult coming down here. Now it's up to one-handed in the bot lane here. Kakoa gets taken out. Crackler, though, ends up getting pulled in and taken out. And Threshold Day is the only one left standing. And this is going to end up being an Elder Drake going over to Vancouver Impact. So what a turn of events. We're 27 to 38 kills at 32 minutes here. My God. Pixelated. You still breathing over there, bro? You're going to have a lot of VOD review from this one. Okay. We have 4 items out for Marco. We have 3.5 done. Death cap almost completed for Ghost Tiger here. 3 items here. You're starting to see the item advantage lean towards Vancouver here, as they're only down by less than 1,000 gold. Alright. Pixelated is still breathing here. War Initiate looks like he's trying to force a fight here, but they still have the Elder. I was getting ready to say, I don't think you want to posture for a fight. Ghost Tiger is in the bot lane. So, nice little trade coming out from War on the Churros. The Ghost Tiger now looking like he's pushing this bot lane here. And this is going to be 3 inhibs down. And this is a level 16 Cassidon. He rifts walk every second. Marshall, though, getting jumped on here from the rest. Oh, Crackler almost falls to the Elder buff, but Threshold Day with the shields allowing him to tank it. Oh my lord, that redemption heal was insane. Elder Drake, I think, is going down here soon. Yeah, Elder Drake is close to falling off. About 80% completed here. But this is a 5v3 here. Marcos will take out Crackler, but let's see if he can take out the rest of them here. He does end up taking out Ghost Tiger as well. Stunner also in the area trying to help him take out. Oh, and Hex Drinker plus Threshold Day Shields comes up one-handed. Kind of left to be the one standing along with the support. Ult comes back up for him. And War comes back into the fight. And that's an ace for Insane Banana. Do they have the chance to end? Marshall, though, taking a boatload of damage here. And War is extremely tanky with these MR boots. And I think bot lane's coming up. Is this an end angle? 1 turret down. 2 turrets down. Bot lane came up. Kakoa ulting. Threshold Day's ult is back. And Churros will end up falling here. Kakoa's the only one left here. 19 seconds on Stunner. Marco has 10 seconds. And that looks like that might be an end angle. Redemption. The fight was so long. Redemption came back up as well. An Insane Banana, staying true to their name, wins an insane game 2. 30 kills to 46 in a 35-minute game. Holy cow. Early entry for Game of the Year so far. Good lord. Longest base siege ever. Yeah. Holy cow. What an absolute insane non-stop game. And I believe this is our first game 3 of week 1. Our first game 3 of the split, actually. Wow. I don't even know where to start with that one. Good lord. What an exciting game here. We're at now 11:30 Eastern. I have to work. I don't care. I'm bringing you guys this game. Screw it. So, looking at the stats there of this last game, one-handed was the absolute like catalyst for that early to mid game there, and then they finally grinded away for Ghost Tiger to get gold. Once he got the 3 items, ended up getting to a 4th there. He just could dive the back line with no worries whatsoever. This gold graph was absolutely insane. There's just so much damage from everybody. Like, Seraphine almost outdamaged the Wukong. Was shy of 4,000 and was 4,000 more damage than the Jarvan, by the way. Like, it's just how much just back and forth that was going. Alright. Well, Pixelated coming from the chat. He is their coach and their backup. Looks like they weren't prepared for Game 3, and he's now getting subbed in here. Alright, looks like we are started into draft here. Again, Pixelated Pizza is subbing in at support here for this game 3. He is the 6th man on their roster, so they can make that sub. I think the question was, is they added him, when did they add him in? And that is unfortunately a question I would have to discuss with Rusty. We have rules in place for what the utilization of the 6th man is, but we don't have anything in place for when to add or how roster changes are going to be processed. So that is kind of a mistake on our end, but it's not something that has came up. So with 6-man rosters being more and more prevalent in our league, that is something we would have to discuss and maybe just fine detail a little bit more in our rulebook. So, Vancouver Impact, kind of the same bands we've seen, except for I think the Akali is something new. I forget what band they dropped. I think it was the Tristana band that they dropped, actually. So, Insane Banana coming out with the Karma. Karma, as we seen earlier today, can be a flex pick, can go mid or support. I have been on the receiving end of Mr. Ghost Tiger's Karma, and it's dirty. So, I know that for a fact that he does have the knowledge to play that champion in mid lane and play it quite well. Excuse me. So Vancouver Impact going with the Maokai here. Another solid flex pick. Could go jungle, could go support. I've even seen some top laners have it in their back pocket there. And the Tristana coming out. So Crackler was whining about his Tristana getting banned. Now it's getting taken away from him. So we'll see how this one goes. So we shall see Crackler going with the Jinx here, which is a Crackler special here. I've seen this man play a lot of Jinx, and he always seems to find a way to do well and get fed on it. And the set coming out for our Rec League MVP in one-handed gaming, his set, we have seen him get double and triple kills on single set W's so many times here. This was the champion he requested the skin on for his MVP split. So going to his Pride and Practice and True set. Here we do see Marco going with the Kennen, which is a fairly safe matchup into set. Though set does have angles to get on top of Kennen, but if you play the spacing game, Kennen just basically doesn't really lose that matchup. I would probably say that Kennen doesn't really win that matchup. It's just there to just kind of be a nullifier, and it's just like, whatever, we farm lanes. Yeah, he gets some autos, maybe farm some first strike gold. But it's just nothing, it's nothing special when it comes to an answer, and that's just because of Set's passive, actually. You know, he has kind of the pseudo Mundo passive where the lower health he is, the more health regen he gets. He's obviously going to go D-Shield Second Wind. So when he gets the low health, he's going to be insanely tanky and just hard to take out With that being said, though, set is very, very open to ganks and longer lanes here. So we'll see what happens. Cassio getting taken away. Zin's out, also getting taken away here. And then a couple of mid lane bans coming out of Insane Banana here. So LeBlanc and the Oriana coming out are getting taken away. So we'll see what Vancouver Impact's picks here in this R4 position. And a Nocturne. Okay. This is quite interesting. You got a lot of go buttons running at you. Set able to pelt away at least the Nocturne. Pending spell shield. The Silas is a pretty good pick here. Steals Maokai ult. Kennen ult is very good on the Silas. Nocturne ult's even not terrible either. So overall, I think Silas is picked in a really good spot here. So we'll see how this ends up going. And the Morgana coming out here. So the Morgana jungle coming out for the side of Insane Banana. That's an interesting pick overall. And the Ziggs was the R5. I was actually looking for the counter to go down, but it you got to refresh it after that. So the Ziggs mid coming out. Well, might not be a Ziggs mid. It could be a Ziggs bot Tristana mid out of Stunner. We will see how this ends up going. And who goes where. Le Soup, this is game 3, my friend. Yes, game 3 between these two teams. You missed a hell of a game 2. It was a bloody game 2. And here we go. Start to kick off for game 3 here. I'm going to let the bans and some of the spectator delay go through. I'm going to get myself, again, something to drink here for this exciting Game 3. And we'll be back with you.
Only pray, flee.
Arts can shed light on our fears.
The joke's on you!
You're scared. Good to know.
Warrior's spirit is never broken.
I have more important matters to attend to. Think what I could offer. The fog is angry.
Alright, I am back. Yeah, Rika, you get to see a Silas game here. What's your thoughts on Silas into this team comp here? I think the Maokai, Nocturne, and Kenenalt are very, very useful. Alright. And it looks like this will in fact be a Tristana mid with Ignite of all things. So, this is going to be interesting. Also, like we noted, it was a Morgana jungle, but this does not seem like a war initiate style champion. So I'm very curious to see how this goes.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Oh, and first blood going over to the set. Again, the Rec League MVP showing up to play. Got his Trundle taken away from him and had a really not great first game. But giving him the first blood. Love the boots first back here to help space against this Kennen. Kennen going with the Ignite here, which is quite interesting. And War going over to the red trinket. Alright, so Insane Bananas has already got quite a few wins in this early game. Like, they will not know what side of the map he's starting on, even though it's pretty much inferred that he is on the blue side here. Decent trade out of the mid lane here. A little bit of poke coming out of Chiros there. I do want to see what exactly he brought. So yeah, it was second win Overgrowth here. He gets the early level 2 because of that first blood. Misses the E here. Marco's going to do his best. His trap's coming out onto Threshold Day. W coming out of Pixelated there. Q from Chiros misses on the return poke as well, so... Flash coming out, exhaust used onto Pixel here. But Threshold Day ends up picking up Pixel, and Jinx passive plus Lethal Tempo ends up getting Jinx a kill, and that's Feats of Warfare going over. Stunner, though, will end up taking out Ghost Tiger, but ends up being a 1-for-1 as he had to go underneath turret there. Marco's zoning off one-handed here, but doesn't really have a freeze going. He's got 4 extra minions plus the cannon here. Marshall is in the area, but will get spotted on this ward up top. So, CS about the same here for topside. War Initiate, posturing for a bot lane gank here. Marshall is on the back, double longsword here. Ghost Tiger with a pretty impressive trade on the stunner overall, has on the double amp tome. Marshall, though, kind of in the area. Q landing from War there, and Crackler's going to pick up another one. And Pixel trying to do his best, but ends up falling as well. 1-3 start here from Chiros. And a 0-2 start from Pixel as he comes off the bench here to sub in this game 3. And that's 3 kills over to Jinx, by the way. Support change looking odd. Yeah, I don't know why it was a change or what the reasoning behind it was. I know it's pretty late here on the East Coast, so that might have something to do with it. We see Vancouver starting up this dragon here. Let's see. Level 5 coming out here. Ghost Tiger going in, picking up one on the Pixel. Dragon does get taken over to Marshall and Vancouver, but that's 4 kills on the Jinx, and now 5 kills on this Jinx in the early game. And Ghost Tiger, with the help of Thresh all day, ends up picking up the kill on the stunner here in this mid lane. So one-handed, still fairly equal here in the gold department due to that first blood kill. So he is sitting on the back. Looks like he'll pick up a majority of the CS here. Though I think Crackler has full Yuntals on this back here. Yeah. So 7.5 minute Yuntall here. Already going to start the auto attack stacking. Threshold Day is making a roam here mid. Ghost Tiger's E, though, ends up falling short as it did hit a minion here. And unlike the last couple games where there was CS difference all over the map in favor of Vancouver to grind out this early game, you're starting to see a 20 CS gap here in the mid lane. The CS gap in the bot lane is virtually not there at all. Marshall, though, digging in and ultimately pulling the trigger, but not getting anything for it here. So first Nocturne ult ends up going down. Marcos up in the top lane was eyeballing here, and it looks like Insane Bananas is going to start up these grubs here. Oh, ult coming out from Crackler hits Stunner. Oh, Satchel got used on the wave there. And Crackler picks up another one as Ghost Tiger ganked bot lane. War Initiate, though, is doing his best to get these grubs. And it looks like he is going to pick up all 3 here. So 11-2 here with a almost 4K gold lead at the 9-minute mark in favor of Insane Banana here. Plate picked up mid lane. One-handed Withering the Storm again that Marco's been pelting him with all series. So, but not the worst deficit he's been in. Ult coming out from Marco after the flash engage from one-handed here. Ghost Tiger just kind of 2v1ing around this mid lane. Jinx ult comes out, misses wide in the mid lane trade here. One-handed does have TP up here. So, not able to finish the Tiamat part of Stridebreaker. Oh, nice stop from Ghost Tiger. Though shutdown going over to Marshall here. Fear does complete on Threshold Day, but it looks like it's not going to be much to it than that. So, kill going over to Stunner, correct? Yeah, Stunner picks up the 500 gold sitting there. Oh, but he ends up jumping over here and falls immediately as War Initiate was right there. And this Morgana is on one item here. And he went forward here, but Threshold Day doesn't have the most amount of health. And that's going to be War falling, as he ends up donating a shutdown over to Chiros. So Stunner and Chiros getting a piece of these shutdowns here. And now they're only down by like 3k. That was a hard follow. I believe Ghost Tiger stole Maokai's ult and tried to use it there. He went into the Tri-Brush here. He's trying to do his best. Ends up taking out Marshall. And now Crackler is trying to kite his way around as he's got the passive and everything going. W goes wide. Chiro's trying to use the Satchel Q, but that ends up falling short. And luckily, Crackler does not fall, because that would have been a massive shutdown handed over to Vancouver Impact. But with all that said and done, we're still looking at 13-5 on the kills, but only about a 2.2 gold lead for Insane Banana now. What used to be about a 4.5k. So, Proto Belt completed here from Marco. Chiro's trying to be Kobe over there. Yeah, he was, and it didn't work out. So, Ghost Tiger trying to Proto Belt past the minion wave and was unable to do it. Flash coming out from Thresh with the empowered Q. I think him and Ghost Tiger were thinking about diving, but they just didn't call it off quick enough. Luden's Companion completed from Chiros. I'm not a big fan of this. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I'm okay with it. Because I think you want to be proactive with the Nocturne Cannon here, so Luden's definitely helps you if you're going forward. To where I think Blackfire helps if they're running into you. So, I'm okay with Luden's here. Either one would have been suffice, but you gotta play proactive, which Luden's rewards. I don't like the Keystone if you're taking Ignite, go PTA. I'm not a big AD player at all, let alone ADC, but I do tend to agree with you. PTA does offer a lot more early game pressure than what most people realize, so... But, yeah, I think, yeah, they got the share of Drakes here. Oh, Threshold Day getting kind of baited here in the shutdown, going over to Chiros again. Maokai ult coming down. I don't know if Crackler's going to get taken out here. Pixelated, though, giving his life over as he tanked 3 turret shots, and if he doesn't give Jinx the passive, Jinx falls away there, so... That is a golden mistake coming out of Vancouver Impact. That Jinx shutdown would have been massive over the Chiros. He would have gotten 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 of his kills would have been shut down. Marco's doing a really nice job spacing against one-handed here. Just perfectly fine. This is exactly what you expect Kennen to do. Big pick coming out of this two-man invade here, and War Initiate will end up falling. Marcos, though, using the ult here, one-handed, did not TP. He walked to this fight and tried to ult Marshall back into it, but there was not much follow-up. I think this is the part of the game where Crackler just doesn't can sit on the Jinx rockets. There's a lot of CC built into his comp, so he can do long-range rockets after somebody is CC'd instead of trying to snipe some people here. I think the one thing that stands out for me now that I'm looking at how this game progresses is while I understand why a lot of supports go heal, if you're looking at a Kennen or a Nocturne, I feel like Exhaust, especially from Threshold Day on this Karma here, really just stops exactly what their team comp wants to do here. Like, this Nocturne's going to eventually fall off. He hasn't been able to do much with his ults anyway, so he's pretty behind the pace here. But this Kennen, once he gets to about 2 items, and most of it being pen, that combat with the follow-up from Ziggs is going to really hurt. So, oh, Stunner, though, getting E'd out of the jump. Oh, and the Flash W coming out of one-handed here as he's sitting there trying to brawl with Marshall. Jinx ult comes out to help, but did not do enough. Here's, we have Rec League one-handed gaming coming out with a massive Falcon Punch on the Stunner here. We talked about it. Don't give this man set, and they let this man have set. He always finds angles for these Falcon Punches. Proto Belt actually drops off the spell shield. I think I knew that, but I just didn't really remember that. Oh, one-handed going after Marcos here. Decent chunk coming out here. One-handed's at this point now where he can start to ignore some of Marcos' damage. War, though, dropping the Rift Herald mid to get this first turret. So that's all of the feats going over to them. First 3 kills they got, first turret they got, first 3 objectives they got. So this early game has definitely been set up in favor for the side of Insane Banana, but the gold is less than 1k difference here. IE completed from Crackler here, so he went the second one. Nocturne ult coming out, and Ghost Tiger just basically ends up one-shotting Chiros here with the Jinx ult coming downtown. I think one-handed can basically just shrug off this Kennen's damage now. Mid-turret does fall from Stunner here. Pixel tanking up the E out of Silas here. Nice flash over the wall. Oh, but still ends up going here. This Ghost Tiger will burn the Ignite. Marshall, though, doesn't get anything. Oh, but nice Q coming out of War Initiate before he flashed out. But Ghost Tiger going for the kill. Oh, Marshall deciding to just take the ult in there. Oh, and Threshold Day with a nice empowered Q snipe. War Initiate landing the Q on the Stunner and getting the smite. Crackler, though, flashing away, so spaced out Marco's ult there. He does end up taking it. Okay, Jinx ult ends up hitting Chiros instead of Marcos. And Crackler is now legendary, 8-0-5 here with the Jinx passive going. Pixel is in the area. Marshall will be up in 10 seconds. But all of these game-changing ults will not be available. War Initiate does have Smite up. Oh, and Ziggs just instantly, like, one-shots War Initiate there. So he's completed his Shadow Flame. Actually, this is one of the very, very rare times where if I'm the Ziggs, I'm full sending, like, Glass Cannon here. Nice Q from Chiros. And the overreach here from the side of Insane Banana is costing them here as they end up dropping 2, actually 3 for the price of 1 here. And that ends up being a dragon going over as well. And now that you're stacking Infernal Drakes, if I'm Chiros, I'm straight up, like, I might buy Storm Surge third. Like, I want all the AP, all of the pen, everything that I can get here. Like, it's actually, to amplify the AP more, it's probably Horizon Focus in the Death Cap, or just straight Death Cap is perfectly understandable. Like, just go big. Because as Marco and Marshall are going forward, you just literally throw your bomb onto the cannon, he gets the stun out, and it just goes from there. Ghost Tiger, though, trading ults here with Marco. Marco does end up stunning him away. Threshold Day up here as well. Pixel in the area to defend the dive. And one-handed also up here. Ghost Tiger's just being an absolute menace this whole series for Vancouver Impact. So, the only thing that is not only somewhat worrisome for the Insane Banana comp... Oh, nice ult here. Marcos does not have ult up, but they're also attacking Ghost Tiger on the other side as well. And Stunner takes the brunt of the damage, but ends up falling. So, attacks from both teams on opposite sides of the map here, as they end up taking the tier 1. Chiros is going to take tier 2 here with the satchel, and he is maxing W last for Rika, if you're wondering that one. One-handed getting the recipient of War Initiate's Q on the Pixel here. So, we do see what looks to be the start of Overlord's Blood Mail coming out for one-handed. Here on the other side. I think after this Overlords, I'd like to see him get a little bit of MR. Just to help. Maybe something like Spirit Visage. Just to help the healing, the shield from W, and everything in between here. We do see that he is a level up on the Marco here. But I want to see a little more resistances coming out. You have a lot of pen. Oh, Stunner's sitting on a ward here. And will end up getting taken out. And the kill going over to Ghost Tiger as well. And it looks like with that pick, they're potentially starting up Baron. I mean, Crackler is pretty big, though. He is sitting on 1,300 gold here. One-handed threatening Marco in the side lane now. Does have the Overlord Bloodsmail complete. Ghost Tiger does take Marshall's ult here. Oh, it ends up getting popped by Chiros. Chiros did waste the ult there. Oh, and a Baron Steel coming out of Marshall. Oh, this is what Vancouver Impact needed here. War is going to end up having to burn the Zonya's. Threshold Day getting chased down from Pixel here. And Crackler just leaving his team behind. And this is a Baron on 4 for Vancouver Impact. You do have an Infernal Drake coming up in 40 as well. One-handed and Crackler trying to walk at this two-man squad, but nothing overall to get out of this. I don't think the Stunner have Baron. No, he doesn't, so that's Baron on 3, actually. The thing is, Chiros is not here to set up anything like that. But Stunner does end up getting taken out by Ghost Tiger and Crackler's ult here. So now they have set up. Zig's poke is in play here. Marshall's ult's coming back up. Pixel's ult's coming back up as well. Death cap completed for Chiros, so this Ziggs is going to hurt a lot. Marco sitting on ult and flash, which is big here. He does have Seeker's Arm Guard as well. Blue buff getting taken over, so Zig's poke is unlimited here. One-handed just kind of walking in to proc the blast cone. Marco's ult gets taken over here from Ghost Tiger, so hard to walk in. And that is the second Drake taken over for Insane Banana. So now a boatload of offensive stats getting stacked here. Jinx sitting on a lot of gold. Yeah, Jinx is sitting on 2,200 right now, so probably pretty close to completing that third item. What I can imagine is some type of attack speed. Either Phantom Dancer, Rune-ins. Could I dare say this could be Rapid Fire as well? Oh, Marco, though, kind of going in to stop the backs. Oh, and Jinx getting one shot here on the mid lane tier 3. Stunner getting taken out one shot by War here. Insane Bananas group needs to take out. And that was a big, massive shutdown. Going over to, I believe, Marcos. Was it? Yeah, it was either Marcos or Marshall got that shutdown. So, and that is a Runin's Hurricane. Ghost Tiger using the ult here, and we'll end up picking up Marshall. So Ghost Tiger yet again getting kills in his pocket here. And that is a Runin's Hurricane done by Jinx. Chiros, though, doing everything he can. Oh, Chiros just putting out so much damage here. But once Ghost Tiger gets in his face, the rapid W's. One-handed, though, hitting this tier 2, or tier 3. Sorry, tier 2, yeah. Big W coming out. Crackler's here to help him as well. Oh, traps into blocking Stunner, which I'll be perfectly honest, I think that's a win for Stunner, because I don't know if he wanted to jump in there. So, full Zonya is completed by Chiros. Death cap as well, sitting on a boatload of AP. If he stacks up another Infernal Drake, it's going to be massive. I'd love to see Horizon Focus coming out here, because nobody's really buying defensive stats here, so I don't really think you need any type of a pen item. I mean, maybe for Silas, just because he has one of the higher base MRs, but even then, it's only 69 so far, so like, I think he's perfectly okay foregoing a pen item. IE completed for Stunner, so this Tristana now starting to become online here. Everybody's obviously has all of their stacking items done with. Oh, Jinx getting jumped on here. Shield comes out, but ends up doing nothing. We do see Marcos, though, with a nice ult. And even though they jumped on Jinx, there's just nobody else is doing anything. Stunner and Chiros were fighting back. It ends up leaving them pretty low health overall. The Jinx getting taken out yet again before these fights is very threatening. That was Seeker's Armgar broken by Marco, and he still ended up dying, so didn't get the most amount of value there. He is about 200 gold away from his Zhonya's. One-handed sitting on 1,500, looking to complete what I can assume is like a Sterix Gauge. I don't quite remember that build path, but definitely look in the front line. And now we got the vision battle starting up here. Dragon up in 25 as well. Threshold Day has 3 items here, so his shields are massive. One-handed, just kind of spearheading this charge here. As Threshold Day is just putting repeated shields on this set. But now they're looking at potentially rushing this dragon here. But with that being said, now they have to back War Initiate, though black shielding the Maokai ult. And now it looks like they've given up position here. They got to respond to this mid lane push, which it looks like One-handed will be doing. He does have the TP up. But Baron posturing now for the side of Vancouver Impact. Marshall getting jumped on here. TP coming out for one-handed, but Marshall ends up falling here. And that is Baron potentially for Vancouver Impact. Or, I'm sorry, for Insane Banana. And it looks like they're going to let that go over. Death cap almost completed here for War. Sterix Gauge completed by one-handed. I'd love to see him use some of that gold and finish out the defensive boots. I noted last game how those boots are insanely valuable, with all things considering what he's running into. Blighted Jewel coming out for Ziggs, so going for what my guess is going to be the Crypt Bloom. Again, no real defensive stats coming out here outside of the boots. And only one person has defensive boots, and that's one-handed here. So I don't think the Blighted Jewel and the pen is great. Crackler taking no damage because of War Initiate's Black Shield there. One-handed, though, topside, getting jumped on here. Oh, he almost one-shot Stunner with that W. Shutdown going over, but Baron push onto this mid lane. Threshold Day using the Redemption to heal up his team. So that ends up being a 1 for none, but a lot of ults burned here. Looks like they're going to siege this mid lane inhib and get it, especially with the 2 Baroned up minions. I will say I am impressed with this Morgana jungle. Like the Black Shield tanking most of Ziggs's damage is not what I expected to see. So, Dragon up here in about 90 seconds. We see the Death Brush coming out for Vancouver. One-handed, though, not really taking the bait. Neither is Ghost. We're just seeing Death Brush tactics all over this map right now for both teams. Oh, Q coming out from War on the Marco. Ult coming out. That ult did quite a bit of damage, but Threshold Day also using the Redemption. Big Q coming out, hitting 3. It's just really, really hard to get on top of the Ziggs right now. They're playing this comp as good as they can. So, only about a 3K, just a little under 3K gold diff. Overall. Pixel being proactive. Do you see them starting up this dragon here? TP coming out from one-handed. Maokai ult getting taken there. Marshall ends up getting the dragon, but War coming in. Redemption coming down. Helping out Ghost Chiros with the Zonyas. And that's a double kill coming out for the Jinx. That is a 1 for 4 here. And even though they sent it for this third dragon to even it up, they lose the fight heavily, and this could be insane. Banana going with a win angle here. And Marco trying to do his best to stall out the game. He got the first minion away, but tried to get the second and could not. And Insane Banana will take this third game in their Week 1 series versus Vancouver Impact Challengers. Wow, what an exciting series overall. Probably my favorite series of the Week 1, honestly. Like, this was a lot of fun here. Let me see if there's anybody that wants an interview here before we go on. Yo, what up?
Going. I told Nubby to join. There he is.
There he is. What's up, gentlemen?
Hello, hello.
Going.
Man, how'd that series feel?
It was a long one. It was
So
a
good.
it was a slugfest.
My first series as a jungler.
True, true. I think that's the only... That and AD are the only roles you haven't played up until now.
So far.
What was your take on that series overall? Like, I know, we can talk about that first game. Can't skip over that one.
It the game got too accelerated for us, and we just kind of fell behind, and there was nothing we could do. Is what it felt like to me. Like I made mistakes. I know I did. It was rough. Pull PGG because I already logged out of league.
There was a couple of fumbles here and there from our team that we kind of addressed in middle of game 1 and 2 that we were having issues with. Everybody was feeling a little off, so we kind of sat down and were like, "Hey, we gotta clean up this play. We gotta make sure that these plays are more decisive."
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys definitely did that going into game 2. I know they had a little bit of gamesmanship with the swapping the Talia to jungle here and putting the Pantheon mid, but then you guys then also noticed that and did the lane swap. And for as bad as your experience looked like you were having there one-handed in game 1, man, you start off game 2 with a bang.
Yeah, game 1, he definitely put me on the ropes. I was having a really rough game. He's a great player, and I was honestly feeling in rough shape after game 1. But game 2, after the lane swap, we got some more favorable matchups, and it felt a lot better.
Yeah, it felt like you guys did exactly what you needed to do. Along with your bot lane to like bridge the gap for Ghost to get that Kassadin online. Your bot lane definitely showed up in that game too as well, getting ahead. So
yeah, Ace and Zek did wonderful on the bot side, keeping things under control. They're quite good players, and we just wanted to stall out that game too because Ghost was approaching that level 16, and it's very hard to stop a Windrake Soul level 16 Kassadin.
yeah, you guys had like some of the best champions to have Cloud Soul on there. But that game 3, man, was that just not the Crackler show there at the beginning?
Oh yeah, no, he was probably the best player in that game. He expressed that he's not a cocky player, but he will say, "I'm going to beat you," and he said after game 1 that I am going to destroy this guy, and he just turned it on in game 2 and game 3, and good lord, he showed us that he deserves to be our AD carry.
Yeah, and then you get your Rec League MVP there in the top lane. You gave him his signature champion too. And of course, every time one-handed gets set, he has a Falcon Punch moment.
Oh, set? I thought we were talking about Trundle.
No.
First pick Trundle game 1 on us to take away from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've all seen it if you've watched the Rec League. Like Trundle is one-handed's like one of his champions, but to me, Set is like his signature. There's nobody else that plays it, and he's not afraid to play it into virtually any matchup whatsoever. So, yeah. But what was that like? Because it looked like at times that was a very difficult game to end.
Oh yeah, they had a very, very spread out team comp. They were able to clear waves. The Kinnan was just keeping me so far out of fights. It was a little rough. It got a little rocky there for a while, but we were able to get 1 or 2 good picks with the little more controversial Morgana jungle, but it pulled through it at that game 3, and it at some key points won us fights.
I don't really think it's controversial. There's 2 or 3 junglers in the league that'll play it.
So Ghost was like, we were talking about what do I want for jungle for game 3, and I listed off a bunch of stuff. I'm like, and then once we started to see the champ select go through, it's like Morgana looks really good here, and Ghost goes, "Are you sure you could play?" I'm like, "I could play it blind. Yes, I have a very strong opinion of Morgana. Of a half-blind monkey can play Morgana properly." And that's my personal opinion of the champion. I feel she is just really simple, and jungling with her is not difficult to me.
Yeah.
But after game 2, I made a comment. I'm like, I don't know if I'll get Jarvan ever again.
I mean, the Jarvan was definitely like really, really good. I think the game got long enough though that it started to really fall off. So
Yeah.
I think when it comes to playing against Jarvan, just speaking on my own terms, it's one of those picks that's very good when you know what you're picking it into. Um, to add some proactivity to a team comp, but if you pick it early, it could definitely be punished quite heavily.
Which they tried to do. They picked the Talia after because we first rotation red side picked J4, and they picked Talia and all that other stuff. It's like, oh, I just have to not get CC'd, and I feel I did a good job trying to avoid all the CC. So with it.
Yeah, it was interesting that the Poppy didn't come out because if I remember correctly, Poppy was on the table. Yeah, it was on the table there. So
So they'd already picked Pantheon and Talia at that point, and then they picked Mordekaiser. So they didn't have anywhere really to send it except for support, and I think they picked their support earlier.
I think they did. Yeah, that was the Corky Rel bot lane. So they could have left the Rel and Poppy and Lane serve very similar purposes. But yeah, fundamentally they are different. So yeah, no, I think overall you guys looked very sharp. From what I remember of previous iterations of Insane Bananas, this kind of looks like what you get. A lot of creativity in the draft, a lot of creativity in the gameplay, and you have a really stable members all the way around. Ghost Tiger looks like he's already in mid-season form, busting out some interesting picks like the Cassidon. So, yeah.
Yeah,
What a
it felt good for as a series overall. Like, yeah, the first game was rough, but overall, like the series felt really good as a first round.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where you guys go. Also, the fact that it was 46 to 30 kills in a 35-minute game. That game too was fucking insane. Yeah, that was kind of nutty. So, but it is a little late here on the East Coast. I will let you guys go. Congrats to One-Handed winning his first Sweat League series here and repping the Rec League proud.
Definitely punching up in this split and hoping to not disappoint.
Yep. And next time you play set, you got to pick the skin. Damn it.
I did. You played the skin, you coward.
But yep. So much love, guys. Congrats on the week 1 win. I was impressed with both teams, and I'm excited to see what you guys do in that Group A. Because you still got a lot of hard matchups coming up.
Oh yeah, but it'll be fun.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Alright, and that was War Initiate the Jungler and One-Handed Gaming, the top laner for Insane Banana Posse, starting off with a 1-0 start here, taking out Vancouver Impact Challenger, who looked very impressive, but they could take a lot from this series. I thought they did a lot of good things. I thought the macro, especially there in the game too, was really well done by both teams. Understanding that if they're going to go after Elder, Insane Banana push top lane to threaten the end, so they had the back and moves like that, where it was really quality good in League of Legends. So, but yeah, I will plan on being on tomorrow night to cast a series. Let me pull this up here. So we have Scorch versus the Hashira at 8 p.m. on Sunday, and there was another Sunday series. Where's it at? Oh, Capachungus Deluxe, our Rec League champions, joining us here in the Sweat League, taking on Coin Flip. Welcome to the Sweat League. You get Coin Flip. Ooh, buddy. That's going to be an exciting one. So they will be taking on Coin Flip at 8:30. Again, 8 p.m. and 8:30. I believe I will be covering Scorch and the Hashira And I think Herwick will be covering the 831, but we will see. But yeah, this is CLT signing off here. Have a good one.
Looking back, I definitely should have had Grievous.
Mhm.
What's up, CLT?
What's up,
Hi,
gentlemen?
CLT.
Congrats.
Thanks, big man.
Mhm.
We were just looking back at that game and how that Aatrox walked the floor with us.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was
You beat my ass, bro.
This is like a 2K gold swing.
I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest.
He just doesn't. He's like not taking